Okay, so guys, the final part of cultural nationalism that we're going to focus on is the sporting movement, which of course is the GAA. And it's founded by, there are 7 men at the meeting that starts the Gaelic Athletic Association, but the two most famous are Michael Cusack and Maurice Davin. And in 1884, Michael Cusack, who was really worried about the state of Irish sports, decided to organise a meeting in Thurles with 6 other individuals, and they came up with the Gaelic Athletics Association, and their main aim was the preservation of Irish sport. And actually, in 1884, there was hurling, there was football, there was handball, but there was actually also weightlifting. So we have hurling, football, handball, athletics, and weightlifting. Now, that has obviously changed over the years, but that was the state of Irish sport in 1884. And the Gaelic Athletic Association goes to great lengths to promote Irish sport. So clubs are formed in parishes all over the country. They organise matches to be held on a Sunday because people would be off work. They were usually held after Mass. And most matches now would be on a Sunday still. There was a foreign sports ban as well, which was only lifted quite recently. And you couldn't be a member of the GAA if you also played like rugby or cricket or soccer, because they were deemed foreign sports or English sports. So because the GAA was a nationalist organisation that promoted Irish identity, Irish culture, Irish customs, they didn't want their members to be involved in anything that they considered to be English. So the GAA played a massive role in the shaping and forming of Irish identity. So they were linked with, or I should say the IRB were linked with the GAA. So who were the IRB again? The Irish Republican Brotherhood, those Fenians, those radical nationalists that we spoke about. We were talking about constitutional nationalism and radical nationalism. So the IRB saw the GAA as a perfect organisation to recruit fighters for a future rebellion. They were men who were strong, who were fit, who were healthy, who were athletic. So they were men who were capable of fighting in a rebellion. So they infiltrated the organisation. So they started to join the various different clubs around the country to try and see if they could encourage any of the members of the GAA to also come and join the IRB and become Fenians as well. So most members of the GAA were nationalist, but they were split between radical nationalism, so supporting the IRB or being a member of the IRB, and constitutional nationalism, so supporting Parnell and Home Rule. So there was a split between whether they, so some members were radical nationalists and were also Fenians, members of the IRB, and some were constitutional nationalists, so who believed that Irish freedom could be won politically and through peaceful means. They supported Parnell and they supported Home Rule. So then finally, looking at the influence of the GAA, so lots of different areas of influence here. They promoted cultural nationalism. People became interested in Irish sports again. It was a physical and social outlet for people. It brought communities together across social divides. So there was working class people and middle class people all coming together under one passion, a passion for Irish sports. It brought people together from different towns and cities and villages all across the country, and they played in championships. It did become a recruitment ground for the IRB, so the IRB were able to gain more members. It also became an opportunity for the Home Rule Party to extend their influence further, so they were able to talk about the benefits of Home Rule at training grounds. And the National Stadium, Croke Park, okay, so that's a picture of it down there at the bottom. So the National Stadium, Croke Park, was built in 1913, and that's where they would hold the national championships. National Championship games, which is of course still the case today. And the very first All-Ireland hurling and football competitions took place in 1887. So way back in 1887,